Welcome back, my good people. Now today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. I've owned my Impreza for going on 2 years now, almost 2 years now, and this car has been fantastic. It has given me zero issues except for this interior plastic rattle in the dash that I cannot seem to pinpoint and find, but it seems to be a very, very common issue in this generation of Impreza, just a minor inconvenience. But for this year, we're going to be changing things up a bit. This is a Subaru after all, and what is Subaru known for? Rally and adventure. Now I've taken this thing off the beaten path more times than I can count, but my current setup really isn't meant for that. Now these Audon H11s are my dream wheels. If y'all remember, I originally got them for my Mazda 3. However, when I sold my Mazda 3, they got passed down to the Impreza, and they've been fantastic wheels. However, come to a point where I'm doing a little more off-roading than I am on-roading, and this setup is not super ideal for it. I find myself bottoming out quite a bit. Now I will not be selling these wheels. Let me tell you that. I will not be selling these. These are my dream wheels. They will probably be going on my next project car. So they're not going anywhere. They're just going to be coming off of this car for now. We are going to be going for more of a rally style setup build for this year and probably the foreseeable future. This is going to be more so of obviously my daily driver. I'm going to make it a little more capable. I'm going to keep this thing very long term. I think the future project is I'm going to keep this and buy just a project car. That's just what I need to do. So we're gonna make this a lot more capable for not only me, but also my family. And what we are going to be installing today is a 1-inch lift kit from a company called Anderson Design Fabrication. It is just going to be a basic spacer lift. We have our 1-inch spacer lift for the front, and we have our 1-inch spacer for the rear. Now, something that's pretty common with Subarus is they suffer from a little bit of butt sag. So this company actually sells an additional spacer, a 3/8 millimeter spacer that compensates for that butt sag. So on top of our 1-inch spacer, we have the 3/8 that is going to be on top of that. That gives us a nice perfect level line when we're installing this. Now this is just a very basic lift because I wanted to retain the drivability of the RS trim. It comes with a sport tune suspension, so all we're doing is raising the suspension up just a little bit. We don't have to relocate any brake lines or any of that stuff. Now there are more kits available for the 2024 plus Subaru Impreza GU. I will go ahead and link them up on the screen if you're interested in something a little more heavy duty, not so much so this basic entry level lift kit. Now, as you can see, the lift kits get pretty crazy, going up to like 3 inches plus. When you're in that territory, I'm not really sure why you didn't just buy a Crosstrek, but you have the option to lift your Impreza that high if you really, really want to. There's gonna be a lot more modification required because obviously it's not meant to go that high. Now this is an example of somebody that did lift their Impreza with a 1.5-inch lift kit, and they're running a bigger size than what I'm going to be throwing on my Impreza. I'll go ahead and let you guys know that what that size is and all the specs on the wheels and tires that I went with after we get this lift installed. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and install this spacer lift kit. All right guys, so we got the car all jacked up. We are starting with the rear first because the rear is a little more in depth than the front. So what we have here is we have our shock strut right here. We are going to be removing this bolt and nut as well as the knuckle bolt and nut. The reason being is this one obviously holds in your shock strut. We need to remove the shock strut to add our spacers on, right? Now, if you had 2 people or somebody to help you or a really long pry bar, what we could do is you could just get away with removing this bolt, getting a pry bar, pushing this entire control arm down and wiggling this shock strut out. But since it's just me, we're going to be removing both of these bolts and nuts, and then after doing so, the control arm will be able to freely move around. All right guys, so we have the trunk open. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and remove your trunk cover, exposing your inflator kit, all that good stuff. And what you're going to do is you're going to come over to here, the plastic panels on both sides. And what you're going to do is basically just, it's really, really dark and hard to see, but you're going to push, pull off this plastic. And then you're going to be exposed with your 2 top hat rear strut bolts. So we're going to go ahead and remove those, and then we can go ahead and pull out the whole shock. So what we're going to need to do is remove these bolts and replace them with our included hardware, that being our spacers, as well as, like I said, new bolts to extend this out because obviously we're getting more height. So what that's going to involve is reuse the nut that we removed from the top hat. We're going to take an extended socket and just kind of place it somewhere like this and find a very nice, hard, steady surface. Grab you a hammer and you're going to start banging it out like this until the bolt comes loose. So with that complete, we can go ahead and start adding our new hardware. We got our bolts, our washer, and we're gonna go ahead and start stacking our spacers. We're gonna start with our 3/8 millimeter because if you look, our 1 inch has the threads for our bolt to go through. Now this isn't the right tool, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and snug these bolts down, and then after you've snugged them down, we're gonna go ahead and hop back into the car and just reinstall everything. There is a little G on this top hat. I really don't know what it stands for, but when I first took it out, the G was facing towards the front. Install the same orientation that you took it out. Also, real quick, before we go ahead and line everything up, I screwed this up when I did this on the other side off camera. The longer bolt goes through your shock strut. The shorter bolt goes through the knuckle. And that is it for the rear. Now let's go ahead and move on to the front. All right guys, I got a little update for you. We have hit a stopping point, unfortunately, for the front. I ran into a snag. I went and did the passenger side off camera just to figure out what to do and stuff like that before obviously I show you guys step by step how to do it. We have the strut out completely. Issue is I'm having now is the same as the rear. We're supposed to be tapping out the bolts with a hammer and replacing them with new ones, right? Problem is, I'll show you guys up close, is that when they are tapped out, they are actually getting stuck on this plastic ring that's part of the actual top hat. That to me requires taking off the top hat, compressing the spring. We're not trying to do that. This is a basic spacer lift. We should not have to do any of that. With that, obviously our spacer is just not going to work, right? We can't tap these bolts out and put in our new ones to compensate for our now 1 inch lift spacer. So this spacer is not going to lift. Now I don't know if Anderson Fabrication didn't do R&D. Product was a little misleading because it did say it fit the 2024 Subaru Impreza. We are in sport tune suspension, the RS model, so maybe they didn't take that into account. Moral of the story, their 1 inch lift kit does not work. The rear worked perfectly fine, but the front does not. I went ahead and ordered from a completely different company called Rally Tech. Just the front top hat mounts, they're completely different. And I'll show you those when they come in. So again, guys, we are kind of at a pause. I'm just waiting for these new top hats to come in and we'll continue the install after that.
A few moments later.
All right, guys, we are back and look what showed up. Our new 1 inch spacers. Shout out to Rally Tech for getting these to me not even 24 hours later, and they are based out of Oregon. I'm in Texas. Now again, I explained to you guys the issue already, but let me show you now that I have the representation. So these are the two spacers. As you can see, completely different. The Anderson one just sits on the top hat like I was saying, but as I was showing you guys, we need to tap out those top screws of your top hat. We can't do that because the strut does not allow us to. So what we needed was something like this, an offset top hat. So our original bolts go through here, these holes, and we're using already brand new existing bolts. Simple. This right here is exactly what we needed. This is probably what I needed to order the first time when I first went to order a lift kit. Fits right over top just like this. They provided brand new hardware. Our 3 nuts on here, literally put it back up, put our bolts on, and button everything up. That simple. This could have been so much more simple if Anderson just had gotten this right. I'm glad this all worked out, and I'm glad I got this problem solved. But that's why I make these videos for you guys, to test products and install them and give you guys real world representation of mishaps that could happen. So let me go ahead and finish the right side, and then I will take you guys up close onto the driver's side and show you the step-by-step process how to remove and install your strut. So here we are in the wheel well. First thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to remove our brake line. That requires a 12mm socket, as well as our ABS line. That is just a little pop clip. Just get a little flat head and push the clips in, and then you can go ahead and get it out. And now we're going to remove our sway bar nut, and that is a 17mm. So with that bolt removed, normally your sway bar would just pull straight out, but because we have done the other side already, there's that added inch of stress on our sway bar. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and put a scissor jack underneath the sway bar and lift it up a little bit just to relieve that pressure. And there we go. sway bar comes straight out. Now before you remove these, make sure you're paying close attention to the orientation of the bolts. The head is going towards the front of the car, right? So the threads are coming out. Now your top bolt is your camber bolt. Your bottom bolt is just a regular bolt. Now on your camber bolts, already done is I've taken a Sharpie and marked. That way you know your camber orientation. When you go to reinstall, you can line up those two lines, tighten everything down, and your camber alignment should be just fine, but ultimately it's gonna get aligned anyway, but just giving you some peace of mind. Just have a jack underneath to hold up your actual control arm to reduce the stress on the actual CV joint. So we can just let that chill right there, and we'll go ahead and place our spacer on. Then we're gonna take our spacer, place it on. Easy. We're gonna put our bolts on, and then we're just gonna go ahead and tighten it up. And this is what you're left with. So now it's just a matter of reinstalling everything that we just took out. Pretty easy up front. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw on the front, and I will see you guys at the end, and we'll talk wheel specs of the new setup. We are running 215/55/17s. These are the Falcon Wild Peak Trail all-terrain tires, and they are mated to 17x7.5 Sparco Teros in this matte-ish color silver. So a real homage to Rally. Sparco is huge in the rally industry, so I figured I'd follow suit since that's the route we're gonna be going this year. Now this is a setup that you can run without running a lift kit. Fits perfectly fine on stock form. Everything clears. We have no rubbing, no scrubbing, none of those issues. So you'll probably gain about ½ an inch just running this on stock. So with that said, let's go ahead and weigh these compared to my previous setup and see how much weight gain we have unfortunately gained. Whoo! These bad boys came in at about 50 pounds. 50 pounds. And here we are side by side, guys. Our new setup came in at about 50 pounds. So we are gaining some weight. However, OEM from factory wheels on the RS, they came in at about 47 pounds. So just a little bump over stock. Also, with running a bigger tire, you're gonna run into odometer issues. So keep that in mind. I will throw up a graph on here comparing the OEM 225/40 R18 compared to the new setup. And as you can see, till about 60 miles an hour, you're looking at about a 2 mile over your odometer reading. So keep that in mind when you're changing your wheels, going bigger, smaller, X, Y, and Z. So we'll see where we're running with MPG wise compared to what I was running. I will go ahead and run through a full tank of gas on the new setup and see kind of where it lines up with gas mileage, if that's something you're really concerned about, but just to give you guys some insight on that if you want to go with a more off-roady type build. So let's go ahead and hit the gas station. All right, guys, this isn't your typical gas station. Found myself on a dirt road. I actually just got back from a 2,000-mile road trip from Colorado and back, and we are going to discuss gas mileage. So I'm going to throw up a couple screenshots for you guys to check out so you guys can get a visualization of the gas mileage. Now, the first screenshot we are looking at was my first 300, about 55 miles. I still had about 70 miles to E, but I was kind of in the middle of nowhere, so I decided to stop and fill up. But as you can see, this was a mixture of 65 to about 75 miles an hour, and we averaged about 28.7. But now if you look at this screenshot towards the end of the trip, this was mostly Texas highways, which are 75 plus, and this was speeds of, like I said, around 75 plus the entire way basically. And as you can see, we dropped significantly to about 25 mpg. Now these ratings were both strictly highway. There was no stop and go traffic. This was strictly highway driving. So the EPA rating on this car is about 33 on the highway. So we took a significant hit. So if you care about gas mileage, I want to throw this on your radar. If you want to go with a beefier setup like this, expect to take that gas mileage hit. Compared to my old setup in the city driving around town, we averaged about 27-ish. Now I'm averaging about 25-ish. As y'all saw on the highway, I can get up to about close to almost 28. Whereas my old setup, I was averaging about 31, 32. On the highway, straight highway. Now another major thing I talked about when we installed this new tire setup is the speedometer. Now what we're looking at here is, as you can see on the left side, I got my speed tacked to 74 miles per hour, right? Now if you look on my Google Maps, it's actually tracking me at 77 miles an hour. So Google Maps was actually tracking my actual speedometer readout at 77 when I had the car locked at 74 miles an hour. With this bigger tire setup, we have more rolling resistance. So another major thing to keep in mind when you are going with a whole new tire setup. So with gas mileage all out of the way, let's talk about how the ride is, how it's handled, all the elements, being that I went through snow and a bunch of other things. After everything has been done and settled, we're sitting at about maybe closer to an inch and a half of overall ground clearance gained, which again, nothing groundbreaking. Like I said, this was something that I wanted to go ahead and lift up just a little bit to give it more of a rally type look, and I think it's achieved that very well. As far as driving dynamics, 2,000-mile road trip, these tires are super quiet. It was actually kind of amazing to witness. This rides exactly just like factory. It's like I didn't change anything. We went through some really harsh climate on the way towards Colorado, and in Colorado itself, a lot of snow, a lot of ice. These Wild Peaks just handle it like a champ. This thing can't officially go anywhere now. The most practical setup that you can go ahead and do on your Impreza. So yeah, guys, that is the installation complete of an inch lift kit with a new wheel and tire setup. So this is going to be the build going forward. So if you like what you saw, like, share, and subscribe. Let's go ahead and run some rally clips. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.